have one more presentation to go today. So I would like to invite our next team with, I believe I lost my spreadsheet. Okay, the employment presentation. Can you please tell me the name of the product again that you worked on, or what you called the project?
It's called Anonymous Hires.
That's it, Anonymous Hires. So, all right. So get ready, share your screen, and you can start your presentation.
Hold on a second. Sorry.
No, we're good.
There we go. Perfect. Here we go. Let's see. Are my other teammates here?
Yep, I'm here.
Yep.
Okay. So this is Anonymous Hiring. Okay, I think Ben's supposed to go first, actually.
Sorry. All right, I'll take it from here. So when hiring, there's always this problem that that not only employers are worried about, but also the potential candidates, and that's how their name or how their gender, how their sex, how their age would affect them when getting hired. What we are seeking to do here is basically eliminating any bias in the hiring process. Basically, by these are basically unfair hiring practices that we seek to eliminate, and a lot of these situations can lead to financial difficulties and mental health strain because of all the stress trying to find a job that suits you and your needs. This is basically just a study citing that white candidates with criminal records are actually chosen more over than black candidates with no such history back in 2003. These are just statistics about EEO data and just making sure that these different discrimination complaints are being filed and not really being addressed. This is just another statistic about discrimination in the workforce based on gender. All right, and you want to take it, Dom?
Yeah. All right. So continuing on with the problem is that with the job search process, the job search is mundane and it's very complicated. And oftentimes people are too busy like applying and looking for a job, and they're not taking the time to focus on their skill and what they're actually applying for. And as a result, like, for example, to go through an interview process and then wait afterwards for like weeks even. And sometimes you don't even get a response at all. And it's a really big nuisance because if you're not going to get hired from that job, you could be spending that time looking for something else. However, I came up with an idea. And this idea is known as a fully anonymous hiring process. And the major flaw in the hiring process is that humans are involved with it. Humans dictate whether or not a person is going to be able to make a paycheck. So this solution removes that completely, or at least mitigates it. And it enables, and as a result of mitigating that human element, we can actually bring out the potential in people that are seeking jobs. People can actually find work. They can actually spend time learning something, learning new job skills, and actually applying them. Therefore, boosting the economy and therefore creating financial stability. And let's see here, job listings. And even on like the employer side, when employers are looking for potential employees, they are spending too much time searching for someone. So removing that human element enables employers to be able to focus on their business, focus on the work, and therefore maximize efficiency and get employees that they need. and I don't know what this is, but so let's see, we can skip that. And we can go on to how it actually works. So let me actually screen share some of this code. Actually, I need to, sorry. 5. And I can't even see what's going on here. Can you see the
We see
right,
we see the presentation still.
Okay. So let me view share. All right, now do you see the website?
We see Megacorp Dashboard.
Good. All right. And this is the product of Matthew. So he's going to explain what this actually is.
Sure. All right. So one of the core principles of that anonymity is that employers aren't able to see directly who they're hiring. They're not able to see the person behind the skills. They're only able to see what skills they're hiring for a job, and how those skills match up to jobs they posted. So on the left, you've got your job listings. These are the job listings of Megacorp in this example. They've posted a role for DevOps, a role for evil logistics, a role for devious chef, software engineer, and others. These listings have a title, they have a description, and on the first page that we're shown here, there's the people who have applied. There are people who have applied and the skills those people have. As you may be able to note, you can't see the name of the applicant, only an ID that they have. So an employer isn't able to see who a person is. They're not able to look at their Facebook and go digging on them. They can only see what they can do. And if you go to edit listing on this page in the center, you're able to see how an employer can create a listing. So say you want to add some skills to a software engineer job. You type in something like Python, and it would show you from a list what in the center. Type in Python. Click on Python. And you'd be able to add it into the list of skills that are required for that job. And this listing would now be shown to people who have Python skills or Java skills or anything of the like. So it's a way to help match employers who are looking for skills to employees who have those skills, and nothing much in between.
Okay, and then Ben did the other side.
So on this side, we're looking from potential candidates' point of view. So basically on the left side, we have here potential job openings that meet the required skills. So any job basically that they have the skills for will appear on the left side, and there'll be a description, the job title, the name of the company, and they can choose to just apply. It'll be very straightforward. It's very streamlined. And once you apply, right away, you'd be hired. There's no need for any human overview or any human oversight. Of course, it would really come down finally to the company, but the company wouldn't see any information on the employee.
Okay, let's see here. So we've gone over this. All right, and actually we were supposed to have, I don't know if our other teammate is here, involving the data. Awesome.
Yeah, so we took ONET as a source, which is a source of occupational data. We use this as a database to show, like, okay, what job listings might there be and what skills might be associated with that job. And so for each job, a skill is rated like 1 to 5. So as you can see here, for example, a chief executive, you'd imagine they have very good management skills. So that's why they have a high score of 4.75. For something like food production, not really required for a chief executive, so that has a low score. And based on this data, we built a rudimentary recommendation system, which will output to the user, okay, based on your based on the skills that you have, what jobs might you be interested in? And this is an example of that. So mechanical, mathematics, physics, you get a lot of engineering jobs suggested to you. Yeah.
And Ben?
Yep. Sorry. So some like future endeavors that we might have is like links to third-party certification. That way it's like a plan for funding. We can work partnered with some of these third-party websites and third-party organizations that, you know, certify different skills, and that way it'll be directly linked with the user. And basically our process, to go over it one more time, it's the employer creates a job listing and they add the necessary skills for the job. Candidates review these listings while also testing for any skills that they have. And then once they see these potential listings, they just apply and they're automatically hired.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you for presenting anonymous hiring. Awesome, awesome. So judges, questions for our presenters?
I will go first then. Do you think it's only skill-based hiring metrics exist in the company? How about soft skills? How about problem-solving skills? It's just like trusting the word, right?
Actually, like the way that it's designed, the system in itself already takes that into account. So when it goes through testing, like the third party that hosts this particular platform, they have already created testing which they themselves administer to employees or potential employees. So if a person claims that they can do something, they have to actually prove that they can do something. And if they are proficient in whatever it is that they're applying for, then they'll receive a badge. And then once they receive that badge, they can look through the job listing. And if a job listing requires that a person has certain skills and they have all those badges, which means that they are proficient in all those different categories, then they'll be able to get the job. So it's not like it's purely skill. It incorporates everything into the proficiency exam, if you will.
Very complex system, as I see.
Yes.
I have to admit that this idea is really dear to my heart. That's where I started with initially. And I also have to admit, I really enjoy the fact that Dominic is wearing Halloween suite.
Oh,
Yeah. Actually, for
I'm a
award
streamer.
ceremony, I would recommend everyone have something fun on you. Promise?
All right, awesome. Thank you.
you.
What about Scott or Joe? Do you have questions?
I'll let Scott go ahead first.
I like this topic area because it's an issue, but I think that there are two things that I would be curious about. One is this seems to be rear view focused, i.e. these are skills I've developed. So when you're early in your career, you might not have many badges.
Right.
Because I have no experience. How do you deal with early career versus later career?
Actually, one thing that wasn't mentioned, but is also a part of that system, as I've said, that there's a proficiency exam, but where there's an exam, there is also a learning platform. So if a person does not pass that proficiency exam and therefore doesn't get that badge, there would be an area in which people can learn. So it would be free for the person trying to get the job, because the whole point is if a person has nothing and they want to improve their lives, if you expect them to, pay for something, they might not be able to. Like the money, I guess, would come mainly from the employers posting the job listing. So they post a job listing. It's like a small fee, but it helps, maintain the website and helps whoever's hosting it make some money. But the employee then is able to freely acquire the skills necessary. So you provide the skills necessary to, get the job, and therefore they can then, participate in the economy, and therefore boost the economy, and therefore bring forth financial stability within the community, and maybe even further.
Thank you.
All right, Mr.
Yeah, when I look upon this for anonymous, right, for hiring, I immediately think of people who've been through, who've been through prison systems and everything else, and any type of negative aspect that life can deliver at you. And those people are typically looking at jobs just to get money again, just to have a baseline living. So to me, the anonymization sounds perfect for low skill jobs, or low skill jobs that can easily get a skill, whether it's chef or some type of things. Versus I saw you had CEO up there, like no one's gonna anonymously, you're gonna have a full background check on someone as a CEO. So one of the things is I agree, it's an excellent idea. I think the scoping is for people coming out of programs for the halfway houses and things of that nature to help them get to the next type of employment. I'd scope it as that. The other thing too is I'm trying to who are you putting the anonymization on? So let me give you, and for the education on. So I'll give you a good example. LinkedIn, right? You pay your $20-$30 a month, whatever it is. It has a lot of training. They actually go ahead and do certification, everything else, and issue badges. For them, they can actually have the possibility of you can API to your product or whatever. Do you find yourself to be the middle product between a Coursera or LinkedIn and the corporate hiring thing, the hiring site? Or do you find yourself to be embedded with either one of those?
Actually, to be honest, I didn't really think that far ahead.
No, that's okay.
But I mean, I guess like what I was really like what you said, you're not going to have like a CEO who's anonymous or whatever, but that's the thing. You don't really need that anyway, because I guess this project is focused more on people just trying to get in, trying to better themselves. And when they get in and they better themselves, they got that foot in the door. So then they can prove themselves once they're already inside, and they can rise among the ranks. So you don't need that anonymity at that point, but it's getting the foot in the door. That's the issue.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure you're guiding scoped accordingly in that regard. And also, where are you in the value chain in that probably someone who, someone who's just trying to get entry, someone gets a first time LinkedIn profile and they get zero connections, like, well, that, that's an uphill battle. They need something like this to go ahead and let me go ahead and connect in and use some intermediary to share skills. So, okay, good. Now you gave me an idea where you're at in that ecosystem. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, awesome. Kudos to all of our teams for presenting. I mean, really, everybody gets up and does it. Brave, brave, brave. And you're challenging yourself and you're sharing ideas. It's just wonderful. So I am going to excuse myself and meet with our judges in a separate room. And I get the privilege of turning it over to Eileen, who is really going to, I think, challenge your thinking even more, but also get you to share some things and see where you can go from here. So with that, I'm going to sign out, and we'll be back in 3:30 is our award ceremony. There's the updated schedule. So we should be back around 3:30 and we'll announce awards. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, judges. I'd love to see your faces again, but and I'd like to give you all a hand. My skeleton hand. Yes, extra hands are always good, especially this time of year. I really just want to say a few brief words.